Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Satisfactory. We are once again back in the factory looking off into the distance of a beautiful evening as our gas giant with... I don't know what I'm riffing on. Hey, everyone, welcome back to Satisfactory, where we are building a small city, and we're currently working on our turbo motor. So, yes, that is the focus of the day. Now, anyone who might think about last week, and remember last week, this is a little bit different. I had to do some expansion. My mathin' wasn't mathin' quite right. I was relying on the software. Yeah, what the problem was, and here, let me just blip over to the planner here. Really wish there was a better way of flipping between windows. So we bring up our planner here. So the way it was plugged in last week was like this, because I'm making the turbo motors here to get these thermal propulsion units, which only needs the one turbo motor, which is 0.53. That's what I was building on, is only producing the one. That's like half a machine, and I didn't want to go that low. So I cleared this, and that for two machines, what that means is I had to increase the amount of cooling units that are getting produced. It's going to have kind of a knockdown effect down the line, but it's not, I don't think it should be bad. Like, for example, the radio control unit, 7.5 per minute. Well, it just so happens that we are, in fact, producing 7.5 minute or 7.5 units of those wherever I've hidden them. You know, I just found them earlier. Now I've lost them again. My map is getting too crazy. There we are. So 7.5. So two machines. It looks like it is a 1-to-1 on the machines here. But yeah, so that's where we're going to be kind of working out from. I thought about just limiting it to a single machine. So that will give me 1.88. That's 2.1 of these, 1.75 of these. So these are assemblers making our heat sinks. Everything else is coming off-site, so, well, except for water. Water's coming up from a pipe, but it's not that much. Nitrogen gas is being shipped in. Rubber is being shipped in. So it's just the heat sinks that we have to balance out here with the aluminum casings and the rubber there. So, sorry, you're going to hear an echo for a minute. Sorry, just double checking. I always got to double check, make sure the audio is in fact working, because I don't trust my setup. What works one week will suddenly stop working the next week. Here, let me just adjust my volume just a touch. There we go. All right, so everything seems to be working, but that's where we are. So I think I'm gonna see. Wow, it's a bit of a, is it really? See, this is where I keep flipping between. It's a very kind of difference. Do I need more turbo motors? No, I don't need a lot of turbo motors. They're really kind of, you know, very limited usage. Yeah, I need them for my propulsion units, but once they're done in the propulsion units, and propulsion units, we need what? 250, so not even that many. Then I have all these turbo motors. Now, on the bright side, they are really good for sinking, you know, lots of tickies. So, you know, that's kind of the question. And I've been spending a lot of the morning kind of debating this question here, because I fired up the old PC, you know, about at 8 o'clock or so, just to kind of check in, make sure everything's ready to go, make sure everything's working, at least in satisfactory land, you know, any updates and stuff like that. And that's when I noticed kind of my math and wasn't math in the quite way. So I've been spending a lot of the morning just kind of looking. But you can see I have, in fact, made a decision. I have pulled or upgraded my cooling units here to the full 3. So what I will be doing is I will be using 2 manufacturers for the turbo motors. So like I say, that will have an effect downstream here. But, you know, again, we have all the vertical space that we could possibly want. We can go hundreds and hundreds of meters straight up towards this guy here. That looks so cool right now. Yeah, I can't, you know, it'd be nice to see what the next stage is. And we are getting there. Like, we already have the first 2 items, and I think hopefully by either today or by next week, we'll also have our propulsion units, and then we can get our nuclear pasta up and running, you know, with the world's gigantic copper mine for absolutely no purpose. Copper powder. What a freaking... Yeah, they really needed to have rebalanced that. You can also see I've started the particle enrichment unlock. I think we did that last week, though. So I can actually fulfill the cooling units. The thing we're working on, of course, is the turbo motors. Wow, where did the week go? I literally actually did that last week, didn't I? Frick. Yeah, this week just for some odd reason went by in an absolute blip. But we are here today. We're having fun. We're playing Satisfactory. We're doing our new mathin'. How you guys doing out there? You doing good? Everyone's happy. Everyone's got their morning beverage of choice. Everyone's, you know, having a moment to chill and hope things are going well for you out there in the world. Okay, so what am I doing? Okay, so this is the first floor. This is going to bring in our cooling units. I am going to be doing the next floor, then bringing stuff up. I am thinking about kind of the way I want to do the building here. I don't want to have kind of the same exact footprints. Now I'm trying to, you know, bring some variety in the walls and stuff like that. But, you know, sometimes you want to break up the shapes a little bit. So let's kind of start that off, because I do need to, I'm ready to bring the next floor in here. So I kind of like to get the footprint ready to go. And one of the things I'm thinking, and I'm just using these walls here, I'll replace, you know, with windows as need be here, but I just want to get a line down. So that is kind of framing with, you know, good comfort level the current factory. So that means we basically have this nice little notch, and I'm happy with that. So what I want to do here is we're going to bring these guys up the standard floor height, which is the 4 meters. And I'm going to go grab one of these guys now. Yep, I'm going to grab one of these. I'm going to hold that into place with H. Actually, what would happen if I went to blueprint snap? Yeah, see, that's going to sit in place, and then I can just go a whole bunch of nudge upwards. Because remember, we can nudge upward. I swear the nudge upward is probably the feature that I've used the most. And I think we got to go down one more. Is that good? Yep, that's where we went. So the top of the wall should be just poking out there. And that's lined up. Okay, so then we put one of those guys there. We put one there. And of course, we fill out the rest of the building. So yes, it is still the same 10 by 10 square, because each of these platforms is a 5 by 5. So 2 of them is 10 by 10. So it is 100 square units that I'm working with here. And if we keep the walls kind of going up there, and then we could do a little bit of pillar work and stuff like that. You know, again, just trying to create a little bit of depth in my designs. Like if we run over to this building here. So this one here, I've got the notch out in the corner. So it's kind of, yeah, see, not the same, not quite, you know, not the same. But you can see I've got the notch in the corner there. So that's what I try to do. And that's what, you know, it's a kind of an not easy, it's kind of a straightforward way. Yeah, see, there's the other one. That one's got the notch in the thing. But using depth like this is a great way of creating detailing. So if you're ever doing any kind of model making, if you ever, you know, look at the old Star Wars models that are going on there, that's the one thing that kind of makes the Star Wars model look so much more busy than I'd say the Star Trek models, for example. Is that the Star Trek models are nice, these beautifully designed, they're like battleships, you know. Gene Roddenberry was in the military, so, you know, he's going by that as where everything's kind of nicely tucked in along the halls and stuff. He realizes that his ships were in space, so he had made sure the Enterprise, all the, you know, fixing bits are in the inside and stuff. So you get a very nice smooth hull, and I love the Enterprise. It's my favorite ship, and anyone who slanders the Enterprise will have to answer to me. But then you take something like the Millennium Falcon. The Millennium Falcon definitely has a different design aesthetic, and that's the thing with George Lucas. George Lucas grew up in the 50s during the time of the hot rods. And when those kind of 1950 hot rods were all about the exposed machinery, no fenders, no hoods. Look at the movie American Graffiti and the car that Harrison Ford is in fact in American Graffiti. That's one of the ways he got the job of Han Solo, and that's another bit of a story. But it was you could see the engine, you could see the exhaust headers, you can see the intakes and the valve covers. The engine itself was more art than function in a lot of cases. It was all about that look and having all that machinery lying out. Look at drag racers, same thing. Everything's just hanging out there. Easy access. I mean, you're doing like race cars or stuff like that, or, like a dragster, you want quick and easy access to the drivetrain. You're doing hot rods, you're working on, in an atmosphere. You can have all that stuff hanging out, and that's what he brought to his design ethics when he was working with his design teams, is make sure you can see it. These are all like these old hot rods, whether they're busted up and ugly, or whether they're, smoother and cleaner. And in fact, if you look at a lot of the Rebel stuff compared to the Imperial stuff tends to, I'm yammering here, not doing anything, tends to be more smooth-hulled. Because they're more of an organized military. They spend the time to have nice, clean lines and stuff like that. Whereas the Rebellion, they're taking whatever they can get and trying to keep it all running. So, they have different needs when it comes to the machinery and whether they're doing the maintenance on the machinery. So you're going to find a lot more kind of bits and pieces hanging out on Rebellion craft. But yeah, long dissertation for, use depth for adding detail. Because that's why the Star Wars models, all of them, even an X-Wing, which is mostly a relatively smooth hull, it's got lots of panel lines, it's got little tiny panels, like rectangular panels that stick up. So there's lots of kind of additional detail. Plus, along the back spine, there's an entire exposed area back there. Millennium Falcon, anyone who's a Star Wars fan knows the Millennium Falcon is just nothing but these physical details. There's not a square inch literally anywhere on these models that don't have some sort of three-dimensional detailing on it. And that's not even, getting into the paint jobs and stuff. So, long way around to say I think I'm going to leave this open. We'll put columns and stuff like that, just again to break up the overall aesthetic. All right, made a floor. Now what do I do with that floor? Well, now we got to start figuring out the rest of the recipes. So I'm looking at this stage here, so let's kind of zoom in. So these guys are being manufactured, being shipped in. Copper is coming in as raw ore, and iron is being produced here. So I'm going to need these guys here, but I can skip these guys, I think. Yeah, so if I cut this node here, yeah, that cleans that up. I think the only reason I had that even in... let me cut that again, because we're using the solid steel ingots. It's just to give me an idea how much I am going to be using. But yeah, we are going to be shipping these in. They're already being moved around underneath, so that's not going to be an issue. So on the other hand, I do need the 9 smelters here for the ore that is moving in. So that's where we're going to focus on next. The next question, of course, doing kind of this design here, is how am I going to move stuff from below up to at least here? Because all my iron and copper and everything else has to come down through here along with the belts and stuff like that, so I'll have to work with those. But I think if I put like a little bit of a corner piece in here, like this, Like so. Yeah, that'll give me kind of a place to bring up. Because I don't tend to have, well, I guess, you know, I'm about to make a liar out of myself, but you notice that most of my corners are solid walls, just kind of structural, so it kind of just gives a bit of a framing there. So, yeah, I think that'll work. I kind of like something that's happening here. Sorry, I am completely just distracting myself here for a quick sec. Because I'm starting to see how I possibly want to do some of this exterior detailing. All right, so let's bring up our foundations. I want the half foundation 4 meter. Get that on top here. If I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Vertical zoop, please. Thank you. And we'll put this guy here as well. We want the clear. And we'll move you over by 1, 2, 3, 4. And up. So additional blocks that we need. We need quarter blocks. So just these little corners here. But love them if they were rounded as well. So we can have a 1. So you know how we have the hot or the half curve or full. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Where are we? What am I looking for? Foundations. There we go. So our curve blocks, we have these guys out here, these little outside corners. There we go, outer corner. Problem is that makes a 4x4 foundation. Really, really freaking big. That's, you know, what I'm using to hold the base up. It would be really nice if we had a curve that fit right in here. It would also be nice if we had a half wall, so it would go along in with the half wall. So a nice half wall, so we can have like a half door frame, little half block, quarter blocks here. I mean, we got the half block. What's another? Just cutting it in half again. So a nice little corner block right here. It's a nice little rounded block, so we can have some nice columns. Yeah, just a few extra little bits and pieces would make life grand. All right, so meanwhile, I was actually doing something. Yeah, it's very distracty today, isn't it? I just keep wandering off and doing something else. All right, so if I do something like that, and then over here, we'll keep it like that up to there. I hit the command key again. For something like that, and then, you know, we'll have window glass in here. Like something like that. Yeah, I think that's gonna work for me. That'll work. And then, like I say, hiding in behind here, that's how I'm gonna move stuff up. All right. Problem solved. Now, next problem is, where's my stuff? So I need to bring over my steel ingots, which are, let's see, there we go, desert steel ingots. So I'm bringing my ingots up here. You can see that we are definitely got enough production because that line is barely moving. So that means whatever machines are down here. In fact, we've already even got a line pointing in the right direction. So that is awesome. Quick and easy. Grab a splitter here. Make sure everything's lined up. There we go. That's lined up there. Let's make sure we're lined up on the belts down here. So the edge of the belt is right on the edge there. That is right on the edge there. So perfect. So we can grab our Mark V belt. I sampled it just to make sure it is in fact a Mark V. And then we can send these guys that way, and these guys can continue on their merry little way. All right. Right to that corner right there. Okay, if I turn my flashlight off, you can see it's bloody dark down here. One of the problems is that there's not a lot of lights along here, so let me quickly throw some lights up. Put one there. And, yep, gotta love it with keying. When if you sample a sign that has the lighting settings, it will copy the settings. So We can go like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they're going a long way. I know I'm kind of doing their own thing here. Unlike the other ones are going perpendicular, but this is a special building. So, and one more right along here. So how many was that? That was one line. So that's a total of 3. So we go 1, 2, 3, and right on this guy. So, whoops, that is not in the right place by any stretch of my imagination. Here we go. And we got to put this guy in right there. And this guy in right... Oh man, everything's in the wrong place. What was I doing with this one? Yeah, so it's the, the streamer's curse, right? Is talking and doing at the same time. Wow. Really gives you some interesting results. Like, absolutely interesting results. Okay. Now, of course, I don't really need lights down here, do I? But I've done it. I will remove them later. So one of the problems, of course, is in the global illumination settings. Space engineers right now suck. These lights aren't lighting. Like, they barely do anything, and it's a bit annoying. However, in the video description, you will find a string of code. Not that one. That's for something else. Where is it? No, it's in here. There it is. Copy. So if you go into the description of the video, you will find a string code for the Lumen fix. It's this code right down here. Put that in, hit enter, and suddenly these lights become effective again. Bless you to the person who posted that. I unfortunately no idea where that video is, or the name of the content creator, but man, thank you so much for putting it in there. Yeah, I did not discover the fix. Someone else did that. I am just benefiting. We're all benefiting from their great work. Okay. Of course, I don't have any lights underneath here. That is a bit of a problem. So, for some odd reason, I seem to be stalling. I don't know why. But that's usually the case. It kind of takes me a while to, kind of get things moving and grooving. So yeah, kind of stall things out at the beginning here. That is not the right light. Oh, what the hell? Okay, sorry, I just gotta get a light that I actually want to use. Oh, I should be able to actually, here, I'll just grab it from here. Oh, I used the wrong floor. I have to replace these floors, first off. I'm gonna replace all these guys. I'm not gonna take this one out because then I have to redo the elevator and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna use those. But what I need to do is I need to find the service floor with the L, because that's got the lighting on the bottom, so it's already pre-done for me. All right, let's make sure we are in blueprint snap mode. No, okay. Gonna go there, gonna go there, and there. Okay, and that should have now the lights. Yeah, there we go. There are 4 lights. 5 lights? I don't even remember. But then I also am not trying to answer Cardassian David Warner. All right, let's put that there. You know, try to remember that we can in fact nudge the signs like that, and then that's lined up like that, and there we go. And there's a line there, right there. Yay! Okay, that took care of that. I stalled that out long enough. Well, that's convenient. I didn't even plan on that, but yay me. Right, standing in the corner, and that means the elevator can now transfer power, including to my own little self. All right, let's finally start getting some work done here. Let me make sure I have my planner so I can see what the hell I'm doing. So what was I chasing? I was chasing after my steel ingots, which were right down here somewhere. Somewhere. Might have to stick my nose down to the train level. What were you? You were one of those. Okay. Oop. There we go. Let's make sure we're back on soup and not doing. Okay, so steel ingots are all down here. Off they go to their happy new life. That means we are going to have to come through the floor somewhere in behind here, which I already did. Okay, that's good. I'm going to leave that open, actually. So, of course, that's the rubber's going, but that is fine. Let's put a wall, just so I know which one I need to remove. We can take these guys out now. And we are going to go up. Okay. So let's track these down. So I'm going to have 3 lines going up through that hole in various locations. But right now we can just focus on this one. All right. So this guy looks like he's coming up that side. I'm going to make sure we're in straight mode here. And I'll take that guy to there. Oh, look at you. Perfectly tucking into that corner right there. Almost like there was an overall master plan. Spoiler alert, there is no overall master plan. There are vague ideas and concepts of plans. May not be the final placing, but let's just get that in place so I know that I at least have my... Oh man, look at that. Just clearing the wall, no clipping. Yeah, that's nice. That's the satisfactory. Okay, so that is the steel ingots. Next thing is the iron and the copper, both coming from down in this direction here. Copper right here. So this is all copper and whatnots. Oh, hello. You are empty. What are you? You're Caterium. Uh-oh. All right, so the next step is to update and upgrade our copper distribution. So we are obviously using more copper. Yeah, 366 items per minute. Where is he? There he is. How full is your trailer? So yeah, he's carrying a full trailer of copper ore, but he ain't, that ain't enough. So if that's full, adding more to it is not necessarily going to help that way. Do I need to add a second train? Which I knew I was going to do it at some point anyway. So yeah, that's what we're going to do, is we'll add a second train here. It'll probably end up oversupplying. Oh, actually, I can update my crystal too. But yeah, I think that's what we're going to have to do, is make a new train. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, problem with having 2 trains running on a single track, of course, is that they can get out of sync. You try to have them timed so that when they're both leaving each other's station at the same time here. So I should actually stop yapping and we get this train built here so I can monitor the progress of the other one. We need to set this guy up. So he is a oh, what was this other guy called? What am I going to call it? I'll call it Raw or Hauler 2. He's going to go from the SE copper ore. Let's do a search for Caterium. Western Desert Copper Quartz Caterium receiving. So we'll add that in there. Then we will go to the Western Desert Copper Quartz Caterium. This is... Oh, actually, no. Maybe? No, I have... There's stuff already lined up. What I was thinking is actually, because I'm supplying Caterium from local, I tapped on one of the local nodes here. I'm sorry. Stop yapping. Pay attention to your trains here. So I need to see, where is he? That's bauxite, aluminum product, Titan ore hauler. There he is. Okay, so I'm just waiting for this train. He has to kind of get into this area here. Or is it this here? Wherever yeah, somewhere around here. Oh, these stations right here. So when he leaves this station, that's when I'm going to turn on self-driving. I'm going to get past the station a little. Just to make sure this one doesn't try to stop. Because what I want to do is I want to wait. Let's actually go in here. There we go. Wait until he leaves. Yep, so he's turning in now. Just gonna give this a minute. I shouldn't need, with the addition of this second train. Yeah, again, I'm thinking of doing a conversion. Convert that copper or Caterium that's coming into a second copper, which was kind of the plan all along. That's why I have a separate copper depot or Caterium depot. Would it be that hard? Yeah, because I have existing belts. It really is just doing a tap line again. What is going to be better for me? Oh, well, let's let this just run for a little bit. Come on. Oh, where'd it happen? Where's my... Oh, shoot. Titan, no. Let's see, copper ore, no. What is the name of this one? This is Titan Forest Quartz. Oh, so I'm way freaking late here. Okay, save changes. Can we get moving, please? Go! Go! What are you waiting for? Go! You idiot! Oh, were you waiting for that train? Okay, I'm gonna ride this one there. I want to make sure they're filling. I'm still, honestly, I'm stalling is what I'm doing. Where are you going? What are you doing? Why? You absolute pillock. You're making my decision for me, aren't you? You absolute dipshitted moron. Sorry for my language, but what the hell, dude? Seriously, screw you, you bloody mother... Okay. Everything you are doing, you are wrong on. Can we stop docking at some point here? Jeez Louise. Okay, how hard is it going to be to put up another Caterium station down here? Or even actually on the end here. That would be marginally better if I could throw it here, which I don't think I can. No, I can't. Could throw it here though. Can I? Do I have a bypass line? No, I don't have a bypass line, unfortunately. Bypass line being, is that something that where these guys can get through? Like if I take that door out, no, I can't. There's not enough room there. All right, this guy not moving really kind of screwed me up here a little bit. Just mostly in my kind of way of thinking. It took my indecision, what was a tenuous decision, and immediately smashed it into indecision. I still think maybe I do want to convert this over because, this is already empty. Twice the train or 2 cars. Double the train or 2 cars. Double the train or 2 cars. And here he comes. Let me just double check what his schedule actually says for himself so I do have it set up right. Okay, Titan, Forest Caterium Depot, Western Desert, Copper Quartz. Okay. I think I am just going to run the second train for now. Once this guy is done his thing. Actually, you know what? At this point, it might be... I can probably... who can get there faster? Can I get there fast enough? Need to get all the way. I need to get to the halfway point. That's all I need to do is be halfway there. Where is my halfway mark? Halfway mark is actually up at home. Okay, so let's head home. I'm gonna set up a train going in the opposite direction, and I'm just gonna when they pass each other, send it. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. You can always tell when I don't have a very clear plan on what I'm going to be doing in a given episode or session. Because, yeah, I go off and wander and do little things like this. On the other side of that, of course, is the fact that these are a lot of times necessary repairs, and it's kind of becomes my time to do my fixes. All right, so the train is going to be coming through here. I don't want to interfere with existing traffic coming through, so I can come back to here. This is the only train that goes past this point. So we can grab our locomotive. 1, 2, 3 cars. Make sure he's not coming. All right, so... What did I call you? Titan or Hauler 2. So you're going to be Titan or Hauler Okay, he is on his way, so I do want to get this done. So Western Desert Copper Quartz receiving. And we want the Titan. Nope. Titan. Shit, there he goes. Save changes and turn on self-driving. Because that was him going that way. And I hope I got the spacing more or less correct. The reason you want to make sure you have as much opposing spacing as possible is so that the depot where that is supplying the material has enough time to refill. So there's no point in having two drains if one of the drains is always driving empty. And that's why I was kind of having that internal to belt. I'm probably gonna switch that Deuterium for the copper, but we'll see how well these trains keep their timing. How is that train going? Let me hide. Where is the ores? I do not want to see the ores. There we go. Okay, so how's he doing? He's right there, heading for here. Is that him? Oh, no, that's a tractor. What am I talking about? Where did he go? I lost him. Where did he go? Totally lost him. Where you at, buddy? Oh, see, he's at station already. That's not good. He's getting loaded. He's leaving the station. Yeah, timing is off. We were just coming up there. Fortunately, that was not much help for it. I should have started him off a little bit earlier, but it is what it is. Can I change where you're going next? So if I go like this and save changes, can I force you to go around? Yep, good. Okay, I got him to bypass the station. So he's just gonna head to his depot now. I'm gonna ride this one out. I want to see where he passes his buddy. Because I can make adjustments. All I have to do is just put little pauses in. So if I transfer myself over to the Titan Hauler 1, I can kind of basically turn the autopilot off, hit the brakes for a few seconds, or 30 seconds or whatever it needs to be. Let him get more distance because the number 1 is closer to the back end of number 2. So number 2 is kind of dragging. He's a little bit behind schedule. So to move him up in the schedule, I'd have to slow the other one down because I can't speed these guys up. All I can do is stop and slow. So I think, yeah. Well, that just clears. Why do I do that to myself? We'll just have the absolute minimum clearance for absolutely no reason. Besides, I think it looks cool. I mean, it looks like they're gonna still pass. Pretty damn close. Unless... Where is he? There it is. You know what? That actually is pretty darn good. I'm actually impressed at how close that is. So basically what I'm using my measurement is where they pass was just in front of the kind of turnaround there, loop that goes above the track, so that overpass. Where I started was just behind that. And the fact that he's that close to the original location of passing, that means the timing is actually pretty good. I'm going to ride him all the way through the full circuit, so I'll ride this one back to the construction site. because I want to see where they pass again. But right now, crossing my fingers. Screw you, Murphy. Touching wood, rubbing wood. It actually may be functional. It may work. Okay. Go get me some copper. How much copper have you actually got? Have you got a full? Not really, so I'm gonna have to increase my copper production a little bit. You know, I just need to make sure I have the fastest possible lifts. So I'm going to upgrade all the belts and lifts here. As long as this car gets full. Alright, and drop down on the train. Okay, almost full. I think just, yeah. Increasing the speed that the copper can come out of the trucks to tractor station. Because the tractor station is got still supply in there. So it's not getting drained. So I think it's keeping up. Alright, let's get back into the engine so I don't accidentally walk off of it. And let's see if they pass in the same place again. Oh, hey, little slugs. So, you know, it may sound, you know, like my voice said, oh, sighs and frustrations, but honestly, that's the part of this game that I enjoy the most. I do kind of just love putting something together quickly and then running around and fixing all the little things. It's basically kind of how I build stuff or manufacture or design, is I do it in 3 stages. There's the initial prototype, which is just an absolute mess. But it's more of a proof of concept. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? A little bit of delay here. So what I need to do is average out where their crossing is. So anyway, first iteration, absolute mess. Do all my adjustments. Second prototype is now kind of everything's fixed, just no refinement. And then third prototype is where the refinement comes in. Yeah, these guys are definitely. Yeah, see, there he is. Okay, so I need him to start crossing a little bit further on. He is way behind. I'm going to keep, I'm not going to do these quick adjustments yet. I'm going to let them run for a little bit. I want to see if maybe they'll stabilize themselves. Now, the AI kinda, sorta. Love the glowing brakes. Yeah. Not sure why I'm sounding like everything's all, falling apart. This is all exactly what I anticipated. That's why I have the overproduction back there. I've still got a bunch of untapped. So, yeah, this is not a horrible thing happening. I'm just kind of looking for the quickest and dirtiest kind of temporary solution. Temporary/permanent solution. If it works, I won't worry about it. If it's not working, I will put in the extra deuterium, and I will put in. I'll change out kind of how the copper is coming up to the complex here. All right, let's have a quick boo where the other boy is. So that is this guy here. So he's still on his way. He hasn't quite gotten there yet. He's not too far off. Actually, you know what? He hasn't left his station yet. So if I go in here, turn off my self-driving, I'm going to monitor in here. Because I should... Yeah, I could time it out. Perfect. It kind of worked out. Because he got here first, I can hold on to him for a few minutes, for a few, minute or whatever it takes. So he's ready to go. now. So he's ready to go. I just have to wait to see him start moving over here. Once I start seeing him moving over here, I can then, which was my original plan, 10, 15 minutes ago, start him off. So we're just going to wait here for a minute, or whatever it takes, the 30 seconds for the cycle. And then once we see movement, we turn this on, we jump out, and we hope for the best. So good morning to our recent viewer. I see you. I hope you're having a great day. Just waiting for a train to leave this station here so I can send off the train that is in my copper on its merry little way, like right now. Okay, so they are now leaving their respective stations at the same time. Huzzah, huzzah, huzzah. Okay, excellent. All right, I'm going to take a quick, sorry, you just got here. I'm going to take a quick minute break here. Just have to do a quick bio break. And we can get back to doing what we need to do. So that doesn't matter where I park myself, right here. All right, so yes, I will be right back. Just got to go and yeah, so stay tuned. All right, musical interlude is complete. Okay, so that's got that. Of course, there is a third option, as I was kind of off doing what I was doing, is to, instead of bringing the raw ore, is to actually start maybe processing the copper ingots back there, because that does increase the density. So that is possibly another option. Okay, but in the meantime, I just want to get the copper over to where it needs to be for now. So I'm just gonna run back down here. I suppose I could have just kept my nose underneath. Of course, I put in the full fascia. All right, Mr. Copper, how you doing? You're emptying fast. So you're going up through here. Ah! I got too much space engineers in my brain. Okay, so I'm actually, oh, look at that. Even got a splitter going right here. Okay, cool. Am I hearing one of you guys coming back in? Let's actually have a quick boot here. Because I've got Titan Ore Hauler 2. Okay, he's at station. Where's number 1? He's not here yet. How are you already out of sync like this? I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to worry about it. I'm just not going to deal with it right now. Okay. So, I want to go that way. Look at that. Nice, clean shot. So, that's going to come from here. Let's lose our straight. Okay, maybe try default. Yeah, default kind of works. Kind of, sort of. And then bring it down a little. Yeah, there we go. Jeepers creepers. When you stop remembering how to play the game. Jeepers creepers. Where'd you get them eyes? Jeepers creepers. Where'd you get them beepers? Jeepers creepers. Where'd you get them eyes? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you not lined up for me? Why are you twisty, twisty, twisty to me? You bastard. You rat bastard. You rat bastard. You're not doing what I want you to do. Rat bastard. Rat bastard. I want you to eat with me. Okay. Straight again. And now are we getting our nice length? Yes, thank you. All right. So you got to come all the way down to here. And just keep on going, keep on going, keep on swimming, keep on swimming. 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 And to there, where you gotta going up. I'm getting close to that corner. Where's my corner? I went too far already. That's okay. That's all right, 'cause I have a drift to sounding like Ethel Merman. Holy cow, how old is this guy? Ethel Merman? What is he, some kind of old man? Oh, wait a minute. All right, there we go. Okay, so now I can know where me Belty need to go. But Mr. Belty don't want to clip through pipeys. So Mr. Belty need to go to here. Mr. Belty need to go to... How far away do I need to... That is my space engineer's muscle memory. Rona frustration. All right. Are you short enough? Can I get you to... Not with curve, but with a straight. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Don't give your distance. All right. There we go. And what the hell happened there? You went on a nice little adventure there, didn't you? Okay, so let's bring you up and we'll point you going in that direction. Any particular reason? Not at all. Okay. Mostly because I like the way the shell's just clear. All right, so back to the plan. So we're working on these. So we've got this now dealt with. We've got, or at least this whole node is dealt with, right? I just have to split it into the two floors or wherever, however I'm going to set this particular floor up, because I'm thinking these guys are going to take no, 10 actually. No, that's one corner, that's one. Yeah, no, I should be able to get most of these guys into the single floor here. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, that's these two bits here. So that's the copper ore or the copper ore coming in. That then I can do with that. So let's get our iron ore up here now. So our iron is coming from a miner over here. That's the line right there. So let's follow that line. Now, what I could do, depending on where that terminates, I'll be back. Where this terminates, where's the iron coming up? It's coming up right here. Oh, no, I'm bringing up our iron ingots. That's right. This is an entire iron ingot factory. Oh. Oh, you know what? Yeah, what am I doing? How much iron ingots were you guys doing? I think I left a sign here somewhere. Yeah, there you are. 240. Oh, what am I doing, man? I have a happy iron factory. In fact, it's even designed to be like this. To stack one on top of the other. I'll use the same belt, but this is actually probably... I just got to make sure. Now, I replaced that wall, so I'll have to redo that connection there. But my outputs, I have this here. Do I put it up there? Sure. You know, it's actually literally what I designed this building to do. Might as well use it. All right, let's get something so we don't just walk out of a big-ass giant door to our dooms here. So I'm just going to grab some junction T, these guys here. I think I'll build a staircase or something going down. There is an internal one. You know what? No. Let's just keep it as a balcony. Let us just keep it as a balcony. There and there. Okay. So let's follow this through its progression of moving material to the uppy. Okay, so it's coming up that way. It's flowing through here. The upper floor is going to join. Yeah, see, the ingots are barely moving here, too. So you can even see there's a little belt right there, ready to receive. So I'm going to grab myself a wall hole. So we can do that now. Put that in there. I need the raw ingots to keep going upstairs. So they're coming in through here. This is the only thing that I didn't really have a proper... Okay, but I do easily adaptable. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a splitter. Boop, boop, boop. Grab our lift. I can push that into there. We're going to use maximum belt speeds. Right, coming up through here. You're already a Mark 5? You are already a Mark 5. Atta boy. And then we can bring our belt out here. Is that what I want to do? Is this what I want to do? Is it? See, that'll take it upstairs like that, but then I'm on the wrong side. You know, I need to be on that side. Yeah, okay. I think that's, yeah. I, again, have a plan. Can you tell this is the first time I've actually ever tried to implement this plan? Yeah, see, you're already in place. Look at that. See, trust the plan. Trust the plan. Okay, so now all I need to do is go like... Okay, all I need to do is pull this belt out of the way, as I can't quite make the corner. Hello, what's going on here? Why are you stopping working? Keep it working here. Yep, I got it. Do I have to come over a little bit? 1, 2. Darn me. Okay, that'll work. Okay, so, you know, it's never perfect, but we've got it taken care of. Alright, need to get some power upstairs. There should be some power lines outside that I can utilize. Yep, right there. Whoa, what did I do? Clicked in the wrong place, man. Okay, and then you need to go down to you. So we'll bring it up from here. We'll cover over that little spot and go like that. And that's where those, look at it go. Well, that was easy. Oh, did I? Yeah, no, even the power should be on up there. Because there is a power switch down here. Yep, so we need to turn this on. I mean, it seems that it's working anyway, even without that switch turned on, because, you know, there's ingots lined up. I feel like I need to increase the speed of this belt here. Let's put a Mark IV in there. Now this floor is overproducing a little bit on the iron ingot, which is fine. These are just Mark 1s. I think I want to put these guys to Mark 2s. I'm not sure why I insisted on using Mark 1s here, but, you know, because, you know, it's only needs 60 of them, so why would I have anything that goes about 60? Because it sucks! There we go. That doesn't go anywhere. Okay, so let's leave this alone. Ingots are coming down. Let's try to get out of our jetpack mode, so we come down here. Let me just run upstairs. I actually haven't looked at the floor. So you guys, what are you waiting for? You're waiting for ingots. You're waiting for ingot, or you got your ore, but you are full. So everything is fine with that. We drop down a little bit. I probably will have to come... No, I shouldn't even have to do anything, actually. It will catch up with things. Especially with this one stalled out, because the ores just aren't going anywhere. One more floor down. Yeah, okay. So, we have our iron ingots. So let's go to the plan. So the iron ingots now just need to move from where they are. So I brought another 240 in, so I've got more than enough ingots. So I just need to bring the ingots or split off the line and go from there. So my ingots are right here. So if we zip, zip. In fact, I'm pretty sure these ingots are going to the neighboring building already. And in fact, that is exactly where they're going. So we'll come down here. The ingots are disappearing up there. I need to get to this hole right here. What's going to be my best way of doing that? think my best way of doing that is splitting it right here. All right, so let's grab our splitter, snap it to the ceiling here. I'll leave the belts in place because it'll help me line things up, and we just go nudgy nudgy. Just like so. Then I can get rid of the belt, grab our Mark V, and connect it, and connect it. Oh, frame jitter. Okay, got it back. Yeah, okay, is that all I need to do? Maybe that is okay, that might be okay. Yeah, just go to a menu there. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why what's causing that, but it's annoying. All right, so let's get prepared to send our iron up. I'll send the iron up right next to the steel, like so. You can hear the elevator music. I'm gonna come to here. Right there. I am gonna have to deal with a bit of a drop here. Okay, what do you guys look through your different build states? Yeah, okay, that's okay. And then we got to come around the corner. It is running parallel, but fortunately we are going to do that. Yeah, that'll be okay. And we take you and we attach you to the ceiling. Make sure the belt is in fact traveling the right direction, and oop. Please, the iron ingots. Did I remember things correct? What? There's nothing. Why is there nothing? There's absolutely nothing coming from this splitter. Why is there nothing coming from my splitter? What is happening to my splitter? That is very bizarre. Okay. Let's try that again. That's weird. Oh, that was this one. Yeah, see, it keeps trying to snap me on. Okay. There we go. And there's the ingots. Excellent. Okay, so now we can grab our lift here. And that's not that button. That button does the paint. It is not for the jet pack or hover pack or rocket pack or whatever you want to call it. It is for the paint. Okay, and just for shits and giggles, we'll point you going that way for whatever reason. Okay, so there we go. That is our iron ingots. That is our copper ore, and that is our steel ingots. Okay, so copper ore is going to be in this corner here. So our copper, to make the ingots, I need 4 smelters. So let's go grab these guys here. We have a nice little tiny pod over here. So 4 smelters. Let's say we go... I kind of almost want to leave a little balcony on this one here. And by that, what I mean is even a little, like, part of it, you know, we can basically tuck that corner in. We'll go all the way down, you know, here. Obviously fix things up a little bit. And then here, we just kind of have this balcony, and then the next floor over top of. Again, always trying to look for areas I can add some depth, and even if I have to do something like that. Let's see how that goes. Let's see how this plays out. Just deal with each floor kind of as its own thing. Okay, so that's 2. I do need 4 of these guys here. And where are you guys lined up here? You're lined up right there. So right there and right there. Let's get us splitters. So 6. We're going to keep the splitters nice, just on the floor here. Just for this happy little pod. I do not need aluminum on the belts. We can get away, I think, with some Mark IIs. Run those guys through there. Let's get a belt through there. And I like to be able to see what things are doing, so I'm going to put a lift there. I'm going to put a lift going in the right direction here. There you go. And Mark 5. And throw our belts over there. All right, good. And 2, 3, 4. I don't know. I'll worry about that. Okay, so that's going to be where power's coming through. I'm not going to worry about power yet. Okay, let's get this finished, getting this piped or conveyed. Pipe would be the term if I was building in Space Engineers. Can you see how much it's corrupted my thinking, man? Okay, so that's my copper. Suppose I should get out of the way, and there we go. Okay, so copper is sent on its way. I need now 10 constructors. What do I have in the way of constructor pods? So we go to construction lines, constructors. Oh, look at that. I have a 5x5, 10 constructors. It is for wire, but there's nothing saying I can't turn you into iron rods. The important part is the 5. All right, my iron is kind of over here. I need some height. So if I got the elevator I have to worry about there. Where's the innies and where's the outies? Okay, so that's the innie on this side here. We bring you, let's hit H. What is the best way and position to put you? What if we flip you around? Okay, so how many... All of my steel stuff is 5, 6, 9... Here, let me look at what you're doing, show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so these are going to go up to the next floor. I don't think I'm going to have room to put the 8 constructors after I kind of deal with this and these guys. So I need enough room for basically these 3 nodes, which is, honestly, it's less than this. That's 9 machines, that's 10 machines. And because they're separated, they don't need to be in a big block like that. So I think, yeah, these guys here, I'm going to bring all the way over to here. And I just want to make sure, yeah, that's where all the innies are. So we're going to bring this one over here. We're going to get it nice and lined up. Like so. So the outs are coming out through here, so I probably need to slide you this way. So yeah, that window wall there is going to have that little knot turn right there, like I kind of showed a bit, and then we'll have this as a balcony, and then this will come right out to the edge. That's running down the center line. Yeah, I think that's going to work. Okay, so now these are, of course, set up for wires, but no big deal. All we need to do... what recipe am I using here? I'm using iron rod per minute. Why? That's steel. Oh, I could have done it. Oh, man, I could have just used a steel one. No, I've already got it. So we're just going to go with iron rod. I suddenly started thinking, well, I'm bringing the ingots upstairs already, but screw it! Just do it! There, I'll get some ingots out of my inventory space. Control C, Control Victor, Control Victor, Control Victor, Control Victor, and Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V. And as always, turbo motors are the one that takes the most time. Okay, let's get you piped in, connected, conveyored, what have you. So my iron ingots are coming up through here. I want them to go in one bit goes in there, one bit goes in there. So I'll do the split underneath. So let's grab a floor hole. Again, I always kind of like to, when I'm going to these transitions, for whatever reason, I do like to have a 90 in there so I can see what is going up and down the belt. Because, you know, if I connect the lift directly to the splitter, I can't see what's going through there as easy. Doesn't make any difference. No, I can always just hit the delete tool. It'll tell me what I'm looking at. But, you know, just again, sometimes it is just about the visual look of the thing. Now, I don't need a floor anything here because everything's going out that way, so we won't do anything there. But now I have these two guys here, and there's my iron. So we are going to go like this. So those two are going to go up there. We're going to grab our splitter. That's going to come in from there, and I'm just going to, again, use my nudge to get a nice, clean line. And I think... Gonna miss? Yeah, that should do it. Let's see how a good 90 degree. Perfect. Yes, yes, yes. You good? You both good? Thank you. And then we can go like that. Hey, look. It works. And that is 10 of these machines. That's 10 machines. What's with the 10 machines? Actually, you know what? I'm going to put a door there. No, not a foundation, a door. Thank you. You totally misheard me. Yeah. So then we can have a nice little balcony here as we play ADHD Satisfactory. Yeah, you thought you got away without me singing that this weekend. Not gonna happen. All right. Okay, so yeah, nice little cute balcony here. We can grab a small concrete pillar because I likes the concrete, and up like that. So that'll be this little section right here. Yeah. Hello. Okay, so that has got the 10 iron rods. Yes, iron rods. Yes. Once I get power connected in here, of course, they will start actually iron rodding. Let's grab a power pole. And let's put you there. No, let's not put you there. Let's instead put you right right there. I know I could be using the wall mounts. I know. I just don't want to. want to use my power poles because I like the power pole. So I can set them up without having to worry about having my walls already here. You, my good fellow, are in the wrong place. You need to be there. Okay, so that should, if we get to wire, give me a place to connect you, place to connect you, you, sure, like that, and like that. And then we can throw this guy to there. Okay, so these guys are now wired together, so when we get power up here, they can have the power together. So now, all of my steel ingots are coming into 4.5 for steel pipe, and 0.96 for steel beam. So essentially I need 6 machines, one of which is making steel beam. What do I have in the blueprints? Let's first see if I have something that's reasonably around there. So that's a 4, 8, 8, 4. That's 8, 8. Yeah, so I don't really have like a 6 set up, so we're going to do this manually. So we're going to grab our constructor here, and I think we'll just string them. I get 3 next to each other. Yes, I can. Constructors are the only ones that perfectly fit in a foundation. So we're going to do... No, I could actually still might almost make... no, I don't think I am going to be able to make the wire up here. Okay. So, if I was to maybe run these windows all the way here, and kind of that's the boundary layer, like that, and then we have our door right there. We'll put, matching doors down here. I really wish we had, yeah. Next thing in the ask list is some nicer doors. These doors have been in place for how long now? Can we get some better doors? Now we do have, well, mind you, what do we got down here? Yeah, so we got a roll-up gate, which is, giant. Like a nice glass sliding door. Like you find on supermarkets. Just something like that. Doesn't even have to be a glass wall. Just something different than these two choices. You can have it center or you can have it one side or the other. Like, yeah. Anyway, what was I doing? Oh, yeah. Figure out where I'm going to put 5 machines. I think what I'm going to do here, the constructor, I'll do the 5 here. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's actually, in fact, 4 and 4.5. It's, I think, what is that, 9? Divided by 5 is 9. As you noticed, I don't trust my mathin'. So you can be running at 90%. Not making iron rod, but in fact making steel pipe. And I got some extra steel ingots on me, so I'll throw those in there. Actually, I had some extra iron ingots too. Let's see if I can find a machine to toss them in. There we go. Okay, Control C, Control V. Control V, Control V, Control V. Now that means I need one now for the steel beam, which will go right there. You only need to be 96, but you might as well just stay at 100%. So we're going to go steel beam, and we're going to up your rate to the 15, like so. And hell, no, I need steel beams on me, so I'm going to keep steel beams on me. All right, that one was easy to set up. So those steel beams then need to go to 3 screws. And if I'm going to move this one, I think, a little bit, because I can get a straight run here. 1, 2, 3. If I take you and put your output right there, that means I have a straight run to get my beams, because all of this damn beams is going into the steel screws. If I grab a splitter, that is not a splitter. That is a splitter. So you are going to go like that, and then 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. What I'm counting off here is the notches to get to a single height one of these. It's 4 steps to get up there. Yeah. So each step is basically a meter, because that's like a 4-meter lift. That's if we check it out. So if we grab a 4-meter foundation and we kind of place it, you can see that that is sitting on the floor, that splitter. So we've lifted it by 4 meters. So every time you hit a nudge, without the control modifier, you're moving it by at least up by 1 meter. All right, these need to get connected like that, and then an out, and then straight across like that. Okay, so power is going to end up coming through here. So we're going to grab power to the wall here. Like that, and maybe nudge it right. No, see, it won't set in there, so it's gonna go there. Oh, yeah, it may be handy, but it does a crap job. Okay, so we'll put a power pole right in the corner here. I want for a wall going up there. Do I want to have a window? Then a wall in a wall. So that now I grab one of these. And right through there. I have to be careful because I am going to be extending the elevator shaft up at least another floor. Possibly 2. But maybe not. Okay, so you are going to power that power pole, which is going to power you. And look at that, he's already got his power. I've got the power. What are you lined up on? You're lined up on center line. Okay, so you are on the center line. Cool. Cool. So that would put you right there. That would put you right there, and you right there, and connect. Then for you guys, seeing as you're all facing the same direction, you go right there, and then we just tuck these guys in kind of in their normal place, which is just right there, all the way down the line to here. Yeah, I'm gonna go to here, and we jump across to kitty corner, which will be right here, and then into that, and everybody lights up. You did not light up. Why did you not light up? What is your problem, mister? You don't know what you're doing. You're making copper ingots, guys. Knock yourselves out. There is production. Let's get our machines here plugged in, and then we can get the rest of the resources heading up, and we can call this floor, I think, complete. Steel screws? Nope. Let's make some steel screws here, folks. Thank you. Control C, Control V, Control V. Steel screws. Excellent. Now, I only needed 2.88 machines, so let's do a little bit of math in here. 2.88 divided by 3 is 0.96. That's close enough to 100 that I'm just going to let these guys kind of cook at their own speed. Likewise, he's cooking... no, that's a steel pipe. Why are you a steel pipe? You need to be a steel beam. You'll be steel beam, and we're going to cook you out at 15. That means 5, 5, 5. One of these supports 3 of those. That's a good ratio to try to remember, actually. Okay, so now that we've got that, we need to start bringing our steel beam up. Hey, look, there's my steel beam. Already facing the correct direction, like someone had a freaking plan. It is a little bit like someone had a plan. There's no plan, but it's kind of like someone had a plan. So let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, here, this kind of is a question. How much do I have to go out to be able to make that corner? So if I'm in default and I want to make a 90, I pretty much have to be right along, yeah, right along the window there. That's what I thought. Okay, so let's move this guy. Always think about how you're doing it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to put one there. We're going to put another one here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to do that 3 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4. For that. 1 for here. And you get 1. And you get 1, 2, 3, 4. He keeps banging on my door. Oh, I finally let her out. And now I'm going to jail. What is he singing? I don't know. I never know. Why would you ask me that? But I didn't. Well, someone freaking did. Anyway, coming up from the bottom here, we're going to go like that. We're going to go like this. And then we're going to be nice and lined up right there. So we can go right there. Oh, and I totally screwed that up because I got to come over by 1. No wonder I didn't get the line. Look, the line. I have the line. The line. And then we go into there. We go into there. And voila. Okay, so you guys are ready to receive your steel ingots. And honestly, that is literally the last thing I need to do down here. Look how easy this is going to be. Just pure raw talent, folks. Just pure raw talent. Look at that. How does he do it? skill, skill, and more skill. Alrighty. So, my copper ingots are coming out of here. I am going to need to get them to go upstairs. What's a nice way of doing that? I can put merger right there. Problem is that blocks the way to get through. So what we'll do is we're going to lift it up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Like so. We are going to have to do a merger here because there's no way a lift can make that kind of corner with a belt. So we're going to have to use a lift to get that 90. That's a bit of a sticky wicket over here, but what I can do is leave it down there and connect you in, connect you in. McGregor-it. Throw you in. Why does he keep trying to be funny? He's not. He thinks he is, but he's not. We're gonna go up. Actually, let's see how that corner works out. So right along in here, I am gonna have to come to a merger, which will be right here. And my merger is going to go that way. So I'm just going to park you there. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the correct height for you. Yes. You can make that corner. Yes. Why are you going? Oh. Whoa. What are you? Where's your Audi going? Do I have you backward? I have you guys backward. You know, he just starts looking competent, and then he goes and does something like that, and it just shatters all our thoughts and faith that he actually knows what he's doing. All right, let's keep going here. Went up one too many. There we go. And let's get you plugged into there and plugged into there. Now we can do that. I'm going to do one of these here. And like that, and there's my ingots ready to go upstairs. Okay, so that is everything ready for my next floor, so we can grab a 4x5 lit. Let's make sure we're on blueprint snap. It's not going to be lined up in any way, shape, or form, of course, but because it's snapping to the machinery, we can go 1, 2. Oh, actually, I need a guide. I need a guide. I need a guide. I need a guide. Let go. There we go. Yes. 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 Ooh, this one actually might be taller than this one. Cool. It should be. It's the turbo motors, for God's sakes. All right. Are you... No, not in the right place. We actually have to come out here to get to the outside wall, which is right there. So keep that in mind. That is a inset section. There we go. That's, I think, what I want. Look, if I was to take one of these walls here and then run that up like that with the zoop. Yes, that is correctly lined up. Excellent. Okay. All right, let's get that in there. Get that one over there. that one over there. There we go. All right, so we got our next floor ready to go. So what do we want for this floor? So on this floor, now that we've taken care of most of this stuff, looks like we're heading in for over here. Don't know if I'm going to get my turbo motors into the same floor because, yeah, I'm going to need 7.5 of these, 6 of these, and then 3 assemblers. So that's a lot of assemblers. I don't even know if I'm going to get these 3 assemblers. It might just be these guys here. So that's 8 assemblers plus 6 assemblers. Yeah, that's going to be quite a tight floor. But that's okay, because I mean, it's easy enough. We're going to have a full floor up here. Oh, we do have to remember to bring rubber, and those radio control units are going to need to be sent upstairs. And they're around here somewhere, but I can use I've been putting in these little sky bridges here. I'm thinking, I kind of thought I was going to need them. Really, at least not yet. However, where I did my radio control units, where did I do my radio control units? Is that here? Yes, there's my radio control units. So I'm making 7.5 of these, which every last bit of it is going to get redirected. So they are already crossing on over into here. So yeah, easy diversion across here over to here. Rubber is, I think, somewhere in this building. Pretty sure rubber is coming up in here somewhere, which means I can cross over. So yeah, okay, nope, that's good. So I'm just going to kind of focus this floor on basically the stators and the rotors that I need for the motors, which are, kind of the foundational part of the turbo motors. Let me turn my flashlight off so I don't have that nasty glare. So I'm going to need 8 assemblers. I do not believe I have an 8 assembler blueprint, so I don't know why I'm even looking. No, I don't even have any. Yeah, not a 1. So we are going to make it up ourselves. So we have, first off, 7.5 of them. So we are going to go into our builder production, grab our assemblers. You are screws and rod, which are all right here. So the screws are coming out of there, rods are coming out of there, so it makes sense that you're going to be down here. Now, how many can I stretch across? Let's find out. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That kind of fits perfectly. That's 7. That really does. Hi, you. I think I got a plan. Okay, so we're going to be a little bit. We're not going to do 8. We are going to actually. Let me get my rotor here. I'm going to check my recipe, make sure I'm not using an alternate here. Nope, rotor. So we're going to go rotor. Just to check. So 7.5 times 4 is 30, which is what I need. 30. Perfect. Okay, so that is correct. All right, so Control C, Control V. So they're all making rotors, or stators. Sorry, not rotors, stators. Rotors, stators? Rotors. These are rotors. And then the middle guy here, he gets a power crystal. And that gets me the 7.5. The reason I'm going to do that and not do my 8 and I'll actually take the power hit is because, well, look at it. It's beautiful. It lines up so lovely. And this potentially means that I can actually get the motors on this floor here as well. So if I need now 6 of these guys, so I'm going to run over here to the other edge because that's where the steel tube and the wire. I need the wire. I don't need the wire. Oh, it's perfect. We're almost perfect. I still need 8 machines to make my wire. Damn it. I did sample off you, so you are all doing that. Okay, so we're just going to get rid of these guys here. We're going to go back to the middle one. Again, 7 means we have odd symmetry. So we got a center machine. We're not going to disassemble you. We're going to get close enough to you so we can throw your power crystal in there. And then we're going to actually adjust your slider so you've got it. Okay, so that's got those guys back again. We're back to not be able to fit the motor production on this floor, but that's okay. Because now I can go and grab my constructor. I want you, sure. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I need 8 of these. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that's my 8 wire. There we go. And Control C, Control V, Control V. Victor, Victor, Victor. Victor, Victor. All right, so that's now my wire. This brings up an interesting, how the hell am I going to balance that out? Go down and turn around? Nah, we'll figure it out. Okay. Yes, thank you. Having a message and an autosave at the same time, that puts a nice little bit of a brake check on you, doesn't it? Okay. Oh, can't forget, I gotta bring the elevator up through now. Mustn't forget the corner. So this corner is, limits, because we have to make sure we have our elevator shaft. Yeah, we're just going to keep having the elevator keep doors opening up on this side here, except for down there. Can I remove just the floor? Yes, I can. Awesome. So just for some consistency there, we're going to have all the doors facing the same way. Like, elevators should be. Okay. How many do I need? 6. I'm going to start from this end here. This is a completely separate line. I'm going to keep it away from... Okay, so I'm dealing with an even symmetry now. One can go there. We'll put you there, there, there. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to go one more floor up for both the motor and the turbo motor. So these now are going to be not OTAS, but these are going to be my stator, which is wire and pipe. That would be Caterium. So yeah, here we go. No adjustment necessary because they are balanced already, so we just have to paste over now. And just double check. Yep, you are making stators. Okay, so that is the machines for this floor. Again, I'm just going to maintain. I'm going to kind of look at each floor, for at least for this building. I want to see how it plays out. But I'm going to treat this building and each floor kind of as their own architectural entity for how I kind of put in things. So we're going to keep that little balcony here. And we'll use the modern railing. So we're going to have this little kind of safety zone here. And then we are going to do like we did in the other floor below, though, is we're going to grab these guys like that. Going to get into our power. I know I could put this thing on somewhere on my toolbar, but the amount of time I'm shifting around my toolbar, it's just as fast going in there. And like that, and then it can go into there, and now the floor has power. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about the power. Let's get the plumbing. So first thing is to deal with these guys here. So the wire ingots are coming up, and you are also getting the rods. So the rods are down at that end. So we're going to have the flow, and do we want to do nice and clean? I think we're going to do a nice and clean one here. So we're going to grab our floor holes. We're going to get these tucked in, like so. And like so, and like so, and like, nope, that is a absolute miss. Like so. And of course we need to have the lifts going into the machines. And like that. Underneath, we are going to have these guys all facing that way. I'm going to grab my splitters. So we're going to come through this direction. Not far enough away. I'm going to go one more. Let's see how that looks. No, it has to be one more this way. So, yeah. You are what? 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 Oh, I got you turned. That's what. Oh my god, my brain. Okay, so that was too far over. That is... Actually, the way I need to do this here is put you down. Sorry, I just got to check something here. Sorry, I am still here. Just sending out a text for kind of my weekend plans here, and it's just popped up, and I don't want to get dealt with. So just want to make sure I answer this question here, and we'll go from there. And like that, and oh man, sending texts on. I have big ass hands. Actually, everything about me is big, but that's beside the point. No, that's not what I meant. I'm tall. I'm very rotund. The big ass old fat bald guy. I am basically the middle-aged Gen X white stereotype with a goatee and everything. But I also have basically sausage not sausages, they're frankfurters. They're long, they're properly proportioned, but they're thick and yeah, not for little phones. I don't have delicate little fingies. I don't know why I'm talking about my hands like that, but anyway, the reason I was going down here is I just want to see where I'm going to line up my splitters. It is that belt that is determining it for me. Thank you, bottom. So it's going to get that lined up there. There we go. And get these guys. See, I know what my problem is, why I'm feeling weird lining this up, because I'm standing on the ground. I don't normally stand on the ground. Why am I standing on the ground? And we're going to go like that. And then we're going to go over to here. I'm going to totally miss. Of all the machines, the spacing on the assemblers is the most annoying. Yeah. Just going to leave that there. Alright, so that should then get all these guys. Let's get our... Let's see if I got it right the first time, because that would be first. Oh, sweet. Googly moogly, I actually did. Well, what a shock. Alright, let's get these guys plumbed through here. Like so. And like so. And finally, like so. Okay, so now the rod is coming from right down the center here. Right up through here. So we are going to grab our lift, and I'm going to do the cheaty way and just push it through the floor. Like that. I'm going to grab a floor hole, which I can just sample right there. Whee! And just kind of retrofit him into place. Like that. As long as it looks like they're connected through the floor hole, everything's fine. And then we can take our belt, run it around the backside, make sure we're on straight, and there we go. There goes the iron rods. Yeah. And stops. Okay, so now we got to bring the wire back down that way. How much wire am I actually producing? 240, so not a problem. I'm going to keep this floor clean still, or at least this section of the machinery neat and tidy. Because we're moving up in the building here, so we're getting closer to the executive level. So we want the tighter architectural. The bottom level here with its elevated and what's nots. This is the worker floor, so they're more function than form. These guys are, middle management, so they get, cleaner lines and stuff. They might have some over, more a little bit of clutter, but for the most part, for them, it's, nice and tight. Now, they make have it just as big a mess. It's just, that mess gets dumped onto the floor below them. Because it's all about the image. It's not about the reality. Okay, so that's going to be coming down there. I know I'm going underneath and then coming right back up. But that's fine. It's allowed. All right, so let's get some more floor holes in here for the wire that's going to come back this way. We're going to drop these guys in like so. I built 8, 9 turbo motor factories. over the years. I honestly have to say that building, using these towers like this, has been kind of the... Now, granted, I'm only making 2 machines. Normally I'll have like 4 manufacturers or 6 manufacturers, and then literally have more turbo motors than I'll ever use within the first couple of minutes, to be honest. I could turn the machines off and never run out of turbo motors at that point. But they're usually a lot more involved setting up. Like, they were some of the most heavy constructed and logistical and just, you know, some of my nicest factories, but that was more out of that they had to be, just because of how much was involved in them. I'm getting them all in one tower, and there's a few pieces that are coming in for remotely, which is, yeah. So, you know, kind of thinking back to, I was thinking earlier before I started the stream about this complex here and how, you know, I was going to try and go at the beginning more just individual nodes. But no, I think kind of having everything in the single building with, you know, a few supplies that do have to come from other sources and stuff like that. Actually, I didn't mean to put those guys in. Do I care? You know what? I'm not going to undo it. I don't feel like undoing it. I'll just run the belts. But I ended up doing it all in these self-contained kind of towers here, and I'm actually really enjoying how it's coming out. It's coming out quite nicely for me. So I am happy with that. Like, I've got most of the space elevator stuff. It's not the super... It's more efficient, I'm finding it, for my build. Well, again, everyone's going to have their own way of playing, which they should. No one should be caught, you know, stressing themselves out by trying to be the same as someone else's. Everyone should have their own way. Yes, watch other people's videos, you know, like mine. Listen to what their ideas, listen to what they have to say about it, but ultimately, at the end of the day, what you're trying to do is you're trying to find your own voice. Pardon me, your own way of looking at and solving these particular problems. And that's what every one of my builds has been about, is just kind of refining technique, I'm going to say, you know, and strategies and approaches. A lot of them kind of filter out, but a lot of them do follow me through the years. And then some of them get changed. Now, of course, I was just looking at my blueprints here. So if we have a quick look at some of the older blueprints. So some of these blueprints I've been pulling from one save to the other for quite a while. Like, for example, that one? Yeah, this one here. So this is one's been around for a while. Then we have... So what is this one's thing? Well, they're all built on these, you know, platforms. So everything is underfed still, but the whole pod sits on the main factory floor. So I built a lot of factories. In fact, anyone who watches Total Eclipse, factory where I started doing this, was a turbo motor factory, to be honest. He actually featured that save in one of his fan build Fridays, where he shows off. You submit, you know, your factories, and he has a look at your factories and stuff, and he oogles over and whatnot. But that was like update 4 that I built that, and so I started using those platforms. It worked great. But then I realized, well, why don't I just put in a floor here? So I started building 3x4 platforms. So like how I have this floor here, it's got a bottom floor, so that's got a service floor, then it goes up by 2, and then it's got a floor, and then the next floor above it will be 4. So for a while there I was running a 3x4. I found it got to be too tall, so now I'm down to the 2, but it's all still an evolution, going from those elevated platforms to, you know, having these guys here and having a nice little kind of clean service floor underneath. Is a 2 wall height, so that's 8 meters. Does it sometimes get a little bit difficult to move down there? And yeah, it does. And that's why I do like a little blend. So some of the, some of the logistics will be above in the main floor, whereas some of the logistics will be below in the service floor. But that's all through that evolution. And that's where we're kind of looking at today is that, or I'm talking about today, is with these towers here and how, kind of quick and easy, beyond the fact that I keep rambling on forever and a day. What was I doing? Yeah, how well this is, and how kind of quick and much more efficient. Satisfactory, ADHD Satisfactory. Wow, that was a lot of, and I don't even know if I actually said words. Anyway, let's get back to doing this. So we're going to get some mergers going through here. So we can get all that good wire where it needs to be. So we're scooching along and getting everything placed. Like you go there. You go there. Did I put you guys far enough away? I don't know. I actually should have checked that first. I might have to move all of them. So I'm going to go like that. Make sure I'm default. I remembered. The fact that I've done it so many times, you do start get a feel for things. You don't have to think about some things. You just automatically get your spacings because you remember. Thank you. Thank you, me. Just as I'm about to go into a little freaking humble brag moment, I go and do that to myself. You bastard. Okay, can we get this lined up now? Thank you. And there we go. So now we can snap these guys into place. Like so, and like so. And run that through. And that will send the wire. What is your problem, mister? Hello, Splitter. Well, hello, Splitter. You've got the product going in one way. I needed to go different. A complete direction. I still haven't figured out how to play. Is this the right way? Yes, it is. He says that with complete false confidence, because this is the problem. Yeah. All right. Can we go have you guys facing the right way now? See, I told you. It's going to happen. I'm going to have to take stuff down. I'm used to it. You may not be. I am. Okay, so rod coming up there, wire going through here. Plumbed in down at the end here. So we just have to flip the corner here. We're going to use the straight function and get a nice little turn. All right, so these guys are ready to go. All right, now we need to bring in whatever's happening down here. So that's our screws and our tubes. Need to head back upstairs. And everything's going to flow into that corner there. I've got some nice space here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep things nice and tight. We're going to keep it on the ground. Yes, every once in a while I'll actually put my mergers on the ground. How close do I want? I think we're going to go nice and tight there. Why are you sparking? What the hell is sparking in there? And why? There's no power. Okay, anyway, moving on. We're going to merge these lines going this way. I am going to, of course, have to make sure I put little tiny belts in there. You are doing 20, so yeah, I think we can just use the Mark 1s. No one will see them. I'll use faster belts just for the visual. You know, faster belts on a slow machine is not going to make the slow machine any faster. But visually, you know, sometimes you want to see those. All right, so how many am I doing? I'm doing 240, so yeah, the Mark III is only 240, so I think I'll kick it up to the Mark IV. There we go. Mark IV is all the way. Okay, so that's the pipe. Yeah, this is actually going to work out quite nicely. We'll take this pipe and we'll just immediately go up through the ceiling here. I'm going to actually, before I put it into place, I want to come all the way up because I want to see what direction I want you to go. I want you to go this way. Because I, once again, have a plan. I am making it up on the spot, but there is a plan. Now, you are lined up. Did I plan that? No. It's pure coincidence, but I am incredibly happy it does. Because once I figure out where I'm going to put these floor holes, so again, this is the middle management floor, so you want to keep it as clean as possible. So I'm going to put these over here, like that. So this is going to be the pipe inputs. And of course, we'll have the directions going that way. And we're using just the Mark V's here because, well, that's what's on the hot bar, or the toolbar. So we're going to put that in there. We're going to drop him. And we can drop him. Is this going to work for me? I think I can make this work for me. All right, so I want to see, again, how tight I can make it. Perfect. Nice, easy reference. Because I'm going to grab my splitter, and I can now go right from there into the line. Down on the floor. Let's move that over. Okay, so that's going to line up that way. That's going to line up that way. Perfect. Get these guys lined up. Material is going to flow in that direction. Likewise here. Like that. Try not to step off the edge of the building. Like that. And then we can grab our belt and go into there. And I made it a little bit sloppy. That's okay. And by sloppy, I just mean the distance is a little bit too far away. But that is okay. Because all I need to do is connect it with some belts. All right, and if we look up here, I should be able to get pipe to the rest of these guys. Yeah. All right, so now we just need to deal with the wire. The wire is not quite as clean, but you can see it's coming this way, so it's going to wrap that corner real nicely. So for our splitters, we're just going to go right up against the wall. I know exactly where they're going to need to be. They're going to need to be right there. You can see I've even got a line connecting. So that's nice that it sees the machine above it. Let's see if it carries that tradition on. Probably not. It is too. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, so we're just going to keep going down until we see our line. So we're going to go to there. Oops, there it is. And then make sure we have our crossing lines. And the guy on the end here doesn't need a thing. Don't mean a thing if you ain't got your swing. Do-do-ba-wop, wop, 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 wop. And there, and there, there, and there, there be. Yes, yes, and yes. All right, this guy can come down. I know it's sitting on top of a light. Well, it is just what it is. All right, so we're gonna go all the way through here, making sure all of our belts are connected, like that. We'll come back to the other guy in a second, but now we can get these lifts in. Now, just like the other side, of course, there, it's a little bit further away, but that's okay. We can use our little belt, and we actually have a little bit of symmetry between the two sides anyway. So, like so. Oh, I need a lift for there. There we go, and there we go. Okay. Now we just need to put our output for the, where are the screws? Sorry, I gotta bring the screws in. Screws! Where are you, screws? Screws are down here. Got my screws. Hey, screws. Where do I need to actually go? Because I was looking at the wrong thing down there. So I want to come around. I want to come around right on that dividing line there. So that means, is that the dividing line? I forgot which dividing line it was now. You know what I can use to make sure I don't ever miss that again is I can actually take out that. Because I'm going to be on this side of it, it looks like. Okay, so that is actually exactly where I want it, right in this corner right here. Okay, so that means I need a floor hole, so we're going to put that right in the corner there. Let's get this side done first. And you go up to Mr. Roof like that. And then we can just go boop. Okay, and through the bottom. Plug the holes as they show up. Okay. So I'm going to have to do that because, of course, I dropped it right over top of those guys. But that's okay because we're going to come down to here. Grab my... No, that actually just has to be a belt. What am I talking? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? I don't know. Actually, I can keep the mergers on the ground. Yeah, I got plenty of room here. I'm going to keep the mergers on the ground. Lifting these guys up like this is just so to make sure that you can walk around, especially because, you know, I tend to pack my factories rather tightly. So it's not that I often, but it is a little cleaner looking when your mergers are right on the floor like this. Okay, so we're going to go back to default mode. We have to make sure we connect like that. There's my screws. Let there be screws. There are screws, and then we can come all the way here with straight and boop. Up go the screws. And it's all good. What happened to... Why are you guys saying you don't have power? What happened to the power? But you were all connected. What's going on here? What? Where did I cut the power? Oh, I remember. Because I took that floor up. That's why. Because I moved where the door used to be there. I turned things around. Okay. Nope, that's fine. Good. Nope, good to know. Of course, the power tap is connected to the floor. Okay, so that should be everybody here is now piped. So now we can start thinking about power. And I'm going like that. I'm going to go like that. Like that. Actually, yeah, I'm going to keep it on this line here, but we're going to still keep them in the center. Each machine is going to get their own power pole. I put you in the wrong place, didn't I? Like that. Let's just run down here. I was thinking of using one pole per 2 machines, but no, I think I'm going to keep it 1 pole per machine as my habit. And then we're going to go right through this corner here. And we'll drop these guys in between. There we go. And we'll just jump across. Like that, and then of course, I don't want a double one sticking out the other side, so we're going to have to do this. Put one of those there. And then that can go there. And now we connect to machines. Like so. Let there be power. Don't need you. Don't want to confuse myself. So I'm going to remove you. And then let's just get the rest of you guys connected. We'll see how things are progressing. All right, so now we need to get some power to you guys. You're pretty straightforward. We can come right through there. So again, we just need to go right on the cross line, right. Yeah, we're going to go just off the cross line. Right there. Right there. And so, 2 more. 1 more. And connecting. So running power through the floor, I have a couple of I have a technique that I use. So basically what I want to do is if I need to, either I can use the elevator shaft, so that's what I'm using right now. But one of the other things you can do is if you take a power line and you want to go to the next floor underneath, as soon as you start looking at the ceiling, you can see how it turns into a ceiling mount. If you can get this guy maneuvered into the exact same space underneath, and you know, you have to sometimes do like a half nudge, so left control and the arrow key, or you'll have to put it in manually. So you can see where this guy is sitting, he's just in from the corner, and then the back line goes that way. So what I'll do here is I'll find the matching one. Let's get our ceiling mount. So I'll use a Mark 1, so that would be right there. So now if I grab the wire and run it up, I think I might have to. They don't line up perfectly, which is annoying as anything, but if you can get it like that, my power is now, so the power line is directly underneath. So if we move this guy here so you can see, so what you get is you get your ceiling tap right there, which then runs in your power pole. The wire runs up the center of the power pole so it stays hidden, so you don't see it, and then you can move your power that way. Now, the floor underneath, well, kind of pretty much the same thing. Now, depending on the floor that's underneath, so the other solution I could use here is I could actually use this power pole here because I want to keep going down. So if I use that to there, I just have a pole sticking through. So instead of just having a loose wire kind of hanging through there, but you know, now it's this floor that I want to tap into. So again, I go get myself my wall outlet, position it, connect the wire, and I can run that power all the way down. And this is now a powered pole passing through the floor. If it was connected to the actual main power, which it is not yet because I have to run a wire from here all the way across. Okay, so this is now wired powered in. So you can see that power pole is getting full power. I'm gonna have to go check my fuel. And that pole is also getting full power. That's how you can run your wires, or at least how I run my wires through floors. In this case, elevator shaft. Elevator shaft makes everything better because it transfers power from one floor to the other. It's like using the train stations or the rail lines. You can move power along. I'm using power lines only because I got the hypertube network wired into it. But yeah, you can use your train. Hello? Yes. You can use your train stations as power nubs because they have the power thing, and then power does run through the tracks. So that is how it works. All right, so what are you doing? You are not getting your wire. Oh. What did I screw up? I'm so busy talking. Oops. You know how I did it all nice and neat here? This is wrong. You know how I did it all nice and neat down here? That is wrong. These two need to switch. I was wondering why the machines weren't working. These guys need to switch. Literally have them going in the wrong direction. Wowzers. Okay. So yeah, that's the thing. It's not a big deal. The only problem, pain in the ass, is clearing the screws off that line there. Fortunately, for whatever reason, the wire wasn't moving. Probably because my ingots aren't fully connected. Like that. Okay, so that's ingots. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. What am I doing here? Jeez. What are you making? You guys are making wire, right? Yeah, you making wire, so you get your ingots. So that's... I'm confused. I've been doing so much yakking, I've absolutely lost track of what the hell it is that I'm doing here. Oops. Okay, so you go to there, you go to there. Is everything cool? Get the ingots up. Are my ingots coming up? Or should my ingots be coming up? Right here. I have not even moved the copper ingots upstairs yet because I thought this was my wire. Oh my god. So when it's going this way, coming to here. And then it has to go all the way. I don't know what I've done. Oh gosh. Okay, these are smelters. Copper go here. Copper go here. Copper go here. You guys, this is the danger I said about when you're, streaming and building at the same time. You can sometimes kind of lose track of what it is that you're actually doing. That's what happened here, I think. Is I was so busy yakking, I started mixing up what was going where. All right, let's start getting this put back together. And I was so focused on trying to maybe get the turbo motors running by the end of the episode. I took my eye off the prize. Took my eye off the ball. Lost focus. Now we're all paying the price. Sounds like he's quoting a movie, but I don't recognize that movie. Okay, so we're gonna have to get the ingots. Oh man, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Where are my ingots coming up from? Ingots are coming up right through here. Which means I'm going to reverse what you were doing. What are you doing? Okay, that's my wire coming down. That's where the wire comes out, right? Sure. Screw have to go in there, which I can probably get going right away. If there's any wires stuck in anything that it shouldn't be. Yeah, I still have to go through here. Okay, does that fix that? Alright, screws, what's going on with shoes? Okay, so screws go there, screws go through there, screws go up, screws get stopped. Nope, there are definitely screws going up. Yep, there's stuff going up. Alright, so I just gotta wait for the machines to fill. Okay. That's because I'm using overflow. Yeah, you can see they're slowly switching over. Alright, jeez Louise. So, okay. So now, let's see. We're not making wire yet, are we? No, we're not actually getting the copper ingots where they need to be, because I still have to... do something. Brain stopped working, must recalibrate. Okay. So that goes there. Those are all going to be... Are those? Which direction is everything flowing? Okay, so ingots. Yes, ingots. I don't know what I'm doing. I literally have forgotten what I'm doing. I'm drawing a blank. What has happened to me? Okay, so this is the wires. Okay, so you guys do this, okay? You carry on. We grab you. The game is doing weird shit to me. Okay. Recalibrate, recalibrate. I'm gonna take these out. I need to see what's going on underneath. I completely and utterly, in one of my little riffs there, completely lost track of what it is that I was actually doing. Oof. Big oof. Oh well, it is the nature of the beast. I have the rest of the week to fix things up if I need to. Yeah, not going to get to the last motor floor, but at least I hope I can get this guy's doing their things. All right. Okay. Now, copper ingots. Where are you, and where are you coming up? Where did you come from? Where did you go? Cotton Dungeon. Which means you're all flowing from this end. Okay. I think I've got my confusion processed. That goes there. That should then all flow down once we connect all the rest of our belts. Like that. What swagger I had 10 minutes ago. All cocky and confident. Yeah, those days are gone now, eh? Okay, we're gonna pop all the way through just so I can get this moving. I'll get the floor hole in position here. I need a floor hole. And nudge it into place like that. Please make wire. Why are you not getting... Okay, so I'm going to have to go now through with the belts. Make sure that everybody's plugged in. Like that. Okay, so now everyone's plugged in. Wire is moving. There's my wire. Wire need to go all the way down to here, but I need to clear all of these screws out, which is basically just start deleting. Like that. I've already taken the splitter out, so we have to already move that line. Move that line. Move that. Move that. All of this. Actually, I can just pull these off the belt here. Not like they're getting any more. There we go. Okay, so that part of the belt's clean. Let's get these guys back in. I was having such a fun time, too, with all my lines lining up. Well. And go that away. And that away. And that's fine. Alright, we can get rid of, so you can see there's screws there, where there shouldn't be. So the screws, you can see there's screws in aluminum. That's what I'm going to get back. There are no aluminums in the construction, or no screws in the construction of these lifts. So that tells me the lift is corrupted. So you can see now, only the aluminums. Like so. Okay. All right, I'm going to take a 60-second break here, and we'll come back and we'll finish getting these machines up, and then we'll, I think, wrap things up. Don't go away. Be right back. Because I just have to hit this button. Yeah. Sorry about that. You think you'd be able to make it for the last of the end of the episode, but no. When you're a middle-aged white dude and you gotta pee, you gotta pee. Okay. All right, so let's finish getting this wire. And like I say, I want to get these machines all wrapped up. I hate to leave things kind of in the middle of doing what I'm doing. So we are going to have to bring the wire over. Let's get down onto the floor. Like so. And, oh, of course you're not in the right place. Why would you be in the right place? That just doesn't make any sense, you being in the right place. There you go. Nope. Lift. Somebody call me an Uber. Hey, you're an Uber. Sorry. Bad jokes. Boom. Boom. Okay, and Mr. Wire. Mr. Wire. Where are you, Mr. Wire? Mr. Wire is not there. Mr. Wire is right there. Okay. So we can just come around the side here. Make sure there's wire on the belt. Yes, there is in fact wire on the belt. Now we can just, simple matter of running it past the screws here. So we'll somehow end up on the floor below us. Up by one, please, thank you. Oh, I hate that stupid. I'm stuck in Space Engineers mode. I keep hitting C to turn my jetpack on and off. And there. And then finally, there. Bada boom, bada bang. Please work. Please work. Please work? Why are you not working? Oh, that's still a screw in there. Look, another screw. There's always one hiding in there. Yeah, you can see how that cleaned that one up. And hopefully that is... so there might have... Yeah, so the ones that had screws in them, I think there was still a screw hanging out in the splitter. Which is why... they reappeared. Okay, yep, you're feeding up. Everybody doing what you're supposed to be doing now. Your wire number going up. I mean, you are last on the line, so yes, I would hope your number's going up. Perfect, okay. Green lights, all about, except for the one yellow because he is sped up. But there we go, we got that next floor. You know what? We got 10 minutes here. Hate to leave with it just about done here. You know what? I'm going to finish it off. Let's get this thing finished. Let's see if we can get this finished. All right, so we need a new floor. I'm going to go into blueprint snap just so I can get it to hold into position here. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to hit H. And I'm just going to kind of push it against the wall here. You don't have to do anything clever because we have the world's best nudging system. Honestly, there are other games that could use the nudge. There we go, and up a little bit. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Let's get the elevator up here so we have our power. Yeah, they all seem to be coming out, except for this guy. They all seem to be coming out pretty much at the same height. Finished product on the top floor. It's kind of cool. You know, you like to see a little bit of variety, but, you know, consistency is something as well. So we can go like that, and we can get an elevator hole floor, or stop, and of course we're going to have all the doors pointing in the same direction, like that. We're going to need power to flow up here, so we're going to hold off on that because I have no idea how I'm going to do this floor. So this floor is going to be probably very much like that one there, is where I'll have like a penthouse. So in said penthouse, we need, where is my planner? All right, so where we are currently at, yeah, I'm not going to get the turbo motors actually running. Yeah, we're not going to get it running today, I think. Well, okay, 3 assemblers, 2 manufacturers. Everything's coming up to wherever it wants to come up. So the 3 assemblers are for motors. So we can have those. Elevator shaft is there. So yeah, we go 1. Actually, nope. We're going to remove you. We're going to grab our assembler here, because we're going to line you up in between because they're just slightly bigger than a single foundation, or wider than a single foundation. We're going to get you 3 like that. We're going to grab our motor recipe. Right, like that. The irony is that there's other, you know, like the rigger motor, and they suck. They're the shittiest recipes. This really is the kind of base motor recipe, really is kind of the best motor recipe. All right, so motors are nice and easy, except for the fact that, yeah, so we'll get those going that way. Okay, so we're going to come in from the left, and we're going to come in from the right. So we're going to do all underfloor because, you know, now we're on the executive suite. So, of course, we want to have it as clean and tidy as possible. Like that. You know, middle management, you know, they got a reasonably clean floor. Actually, they got a really good clean floor. They did keep it nice and tidy. So, of course, the penthouse is also going to maintain that nice, neat, clean floor. To keep things from getting on top of each other, we're going to have some stuff come in from this side, and we're going to have some stuff come in from that side, like that. And that some stuff, of course, being the, we'll have the flow of our stators, or nope, rotors go this way, and our stators going this way. Okay, let's get that done. Now, this is where this floor does show that it's going to be middle management, because it is going to have a little tiny bit of mess, or not quite as clean as a purely underfloor fed and setup system, but you know, that is the way it is. Middle management has to support upper management, because, you know, upper management, they get all the big bucks, they get all the nicest stuff. They do the least amount for the company, but, you know, they get all the freaking money. And you're taking the risk with other people's money. Like, there's literally any executive board of director, they're the first that should go. Like, let's be honest here. They do nothing. They just make everything go worse because they got their ideals. And then they get paid shit tons of money to fuck everything up. Sorry, I'm going to use a little bit of bad language there. Don't try not to. But, yeah, I think it's necessary in this case. All right, let's go to there. Now, I did just pop all the way through the floor here. Again, because, you know, just for the visual sake. Wow. How about you actually try to line the damn thing up? And there we go. Okay, so I think I just want to be no, that's not gonna work, so we're gonna have to do this. Splitter? Just a regular splitter, yes. Let's put a regular splitter. So that's gonna go that way. And you go to there. And you go to there. All right, let's drop down to the floor. I'm going to replace these guys now so that they actually clip into my splitters. Like so. And there we go. And then we can just grab. Doubt it's going to reach. Of course it's not, but we can get it as far as we can. Which will be right about there. And then into there. All right, that's got one. Okay, so now we're going to get the next one. Pretty much same thing. So again, I'm just going to come in from this direction now. So I'm just going to put these guys at the same spacing. You know, keep it neat and orderly. And down to the end. And we can get rid of that, and get rid of that temporarily. Because we're going to put them right back, but we're going to put them back so that they actually attach to my splitters, and then we can just run belt and run our belt. All right, let's go fetch the bit we need, which will be what's coming off here. So that's our stators. So we're going to do the same thing as we did here. We're going to grab our mergers. We're going to send them hacking down their merry little way. I do need to miss the power pole. I think I'm going to move the power pole in by one on all of these guys. And by one, I only mean in that direction, not in any other direction. Yeah. They really do need to be tucked in behind here. Like that, and like that. Sorry, guys. Have to make a little change here. This one. Okay. I can go back into that plug there. And that can go there, and that one can go there, and then we can just hook up the machines. And let things race back to life. I have the power. Okay, so that's going that way. We want these guys to go this way, so now we can grab our merger. The reason I did the move there is so that the belt has room to go, because I didn't want these guys sticking out all the way. I want them nice and tight in here. You know, it will need a little bit of a belt there, but, you know, nice and as close as we can get. I could get closer, but it does get more difficult to attach the belt. So we're just going to run down here with a pretty minor bit of clipping. Don't really need it on the end here, but just to kind of, again, keep things nice and tight. Do I actually? No, actually, you know what? Maybe I don't need you. Let's see. Yes, you will turn just fine. Okay, perfect. So then we can go all the way down here. The machine should start emptying now of the status. See, you can see everyone's got stators on the belts. You're yellow because you're not getting the wire you should. Why? Because there's plenty of copper ingot. I mean, plenty of ingot. What's going on, Mr. Wires? Oh, that's because I moved the power pole and I cut power to all you guys. There you go. Sorry about that. Off to it you go, because you need your wire, which is way over there. I mean, yeah, I could have run I could have run the wire because that's the wire making, in the same floor. I didn't actually have to go underneath, but, you know, look how clean that is, man. Look how neat and tidy and clean this is. That's what we're after. Okay, are you getting back your wire? Are we seeing wire flowing in? Yes, we are seeing wire flowing again. It'll take a bit for the overflow to kind of catch up, because all the other machines were emptying themselves out, but that's okay. All right, so that means you need to go upstairs now. Where do I want you to go upstairs now? Could really be anywhere. Well, where do you come out? Let's just do this. Well, actually, kind of come out okay. In fact, yeah, what I can do is I can put that there. We'll have you going in the right direction, so you're going to go in that direction. And then we will wrap this into that corner there. Yeah. 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 Line up, line up. Yep, they'll line up. And then you go. It's middle management floor. They gotta have a little bit of. There's gotta be a little bit of jank in it. You think middle management's gonna get perfection? Nah. They get a tiny bit of jank, which is that. Okay, so that's good. That's got those guys moving. All right, so all we need to do now is I'm going to need 4 manufacturers for the turbo motors. I'm not going to get the turbo motors piped in today, I think, just because I got, you know, the turbo motors just got a few more things involved that I'm going to have to deal with, the fuse frames and whatnot. And again, this is for the final activities. So I'm just going to temporarily... So I'm just going to get these guys in just so I can see what my... What am I doing? I am going to put these manufacturers in place. Not going to hook them, worry about piping them up or connecting them just yet. Mostly because I want to get an idea of what the upper floor, final penthouse floor here is going to look like. How much space these 4 manufacturers are going to take. Yeah, I think that might look a little interesting. If I put you way over here, problem is yeah, I got 4 items, 1 feeding from the top. Manufacturers are just, there's never a good way to convey your manufacturers, to be honest. It's always going to be a bit of a hand's breakfast. So now the walls. So yeah, so I can keep the same pattern I was doing down there. So let me find my window walls so we can go all the way. Actually, I can go here. There. And then I have this nice open space here. Okay, yeah. We're going to need a door here. We're going to put a window there. And then we're going to put a regular all bit there. We can grab our one of these. We'll use a Mark II. Not really worried about the elevator shaft coming up any further, but, you know, it is what it is. And then we get our power pole in just so we can take it off of there and across to there. Yeah, we're almost there. Okay, we can at least get the motors being run out. I will connect those up in a second here. So you are going to be right there. Right there. Right there. And then you're going to go that way to power the machines. Okay, so we come through here. Like that, and like that. Let's extend the wall just a smidge. And no, I don't want to see. Okay, so you see that? You see how I'm getting a double wall? So when you're using connecting wires obviously will try to put a power pole or whatever's appropriate. When it comes to the wall mounts, though, if it's coming off of a double wall mount, it's always going to try to put in a double wall mount. So if you are going to not want a double wall mount, you actually do have to go into the menu here. So I just middle clicked to select that one, and make sure you select a single. So I'll use the wall mount, that way it doesn't have, so I'll manually place this guy there. You can see it's just a single-sided, so I don't have that little nubby sticking out the backside, but now I can throw these guys into there, run to the backside here, hook up my belts, or my lifts. Like so, whoops, and like so, and let there be motors, and they are. Radio control units are over there. These are my fused frames here, aren't they? Rubber. Rubber is the problem. Except rubber. Oh, wait. Rubber. Rubber. We did rubber. We had rubber. Where do we have rubber? We have rubber. No, we don't. Yes, we do. We have rubber right there. Ha-ha! Where's that rubber going? And how do I get it to the top floor? Rubber go into there. How do I get you to the executive floor without getting in the way of everyone else? All right, what's directly above you? Well, that's not going to work. There are machines there. Is there a place where I can sneak a line through? Well, let's get the rubber up as far as we can, which is by putting in See, I'm making a Christmas song. Yes, that's right. Yeah, okay. I think that'll work. Now, that splitter is not actually on the belt yet. So there's no connection here. I'm using the floor as my guide because I want to make sure that I have things snapped in the right place. Like that. So when I run the lift up, it's not going to do anything, surprising. But we are going to have to, of course, grab you and plug you into there. Grab you now and plug you into there. Then I can grab my lift and let's see where we can take you. All right, so I can take you up to here. I'll point you in that direction. What's through here? We can. All right. Where are you wanting to come up? Oh, wait a minute. What is it? Oh, that's the ground floor. There's the rubber. You're coming up through here. You could pretty much go anywhere you want. How tight of a corner can I get to that center line? I can't. Ooh. I can also... So you're just on the inside. So what I'm thinking is I want to pop right through there. Oh, well, let's put a hole right here. And take a step off that edge there. Let's put you reversed. Let's grab another floor hole. I don't know if I've probably been calling them wall holes for the last hour or 3. Then I'm going to take you, we'll send you, make sure you're going that direction. Doesn't really matter on this side, it's just do I want to see the rubber or not, you know, kind of where it's tucked in. Yeah. Yeah. And then we can go like this. Just like that. Like it was meant to be. No. Not like that. Let's get back to straight. I want to bring these guys just in behind here. So let's get our 90 degree like that, and then we can go boop. What on earth? Oh, I'm too low. That's why. There's a slight no? Alright, one of you guys has not got the correct height. I'm not sure which one of you it is. But I think that has got it fixed now. Yes, it does. Okay, good. All right, so that's rubber, and that now comes up to the undersurface floor. Which can then has to go all the way up to this surface floor. Now I'm running into the screws here, but that can actually be fixed pretty easily by doing this. And we'll just let the belt kind of find its new path. Right there. And then we can go like that. And the screws can do their happy dance. Yeah, okay. That means now the rubber. So what's directly above here? Let's go find out. I'm just going to move the belt first. And I'll keep you facing that way. Yeah, we come up, we go up, we go up, we go up. We come out right here. But can I make anything happen if I go through here? I kind of like to get some of this figured out. No, see, that runs into that. So that is not going to work for me. Unless... Hey, you don't remember how I did move the screws around a little bit? I'm going to do it again. Unless I have the screws come this way. This... I can now do... maybe... Yeah, I could do something a little bit ugly. I'm fully admitting that this is incredibly ugly, and I'm going to have to change you again. This is the whole point of the surface floors. If you got to do ugly shit down here. Don't want curve, don't want default. Can we make corner now here? I want to come to... Yep, I need default, thank you. Like that. Let's get this in straight. That, and then... Alright. You're going the wrong way, that's why. You need to go up. And we'll use straight. Yep. Okay, so that gets the rubber to... Oops, don't forget about fixing the screws. That can go all the way around again. Make sure I'm on straight. Yep. There we go. So that keeps the screws moving. Rubber is now here. Of course, it's going to go right through there, which is not where I want it to go through. Here. What's about that? Yep, I can get through there. That's fine. We are gonna kind of do the same thing as that we got going on with this. The same but different. We're gonna put that there. We're gonna drop down 1, 2, and then we're gonna come up and I missed. That one thing wabbit. Let's try that again. Okay, we're gonna come down 2. Now we're gonna go up and connect into there. And that has got my rubber on top. Okay, so that's the rubber. Let's point you that way. All right, fuse frames. Your fused frames over here, right? Yep, fused modular frames that have no output yet, so we get to output them, and we want to send them across to there. So, service floor is right there. If I go across here, is that the right? Yeah, I can get through. Sorry, just what I'm trying to do here is just figure out where I want to line myself up. So I'm going to have to merge these guys. So if we come up to here, grab my belt, and all the way as far as I can go on default, I think, not curve. Default has, ironically, the tightest corners. So that would be... Yeah, straight wants to be there, so curve can be, or default can be perfectly happy there. Watch me put that exactly in the wrong place. No, I did not damn near, but not quite. Okay, let's go back to straight. Yeah, that's good, because that goes right through there. That's excellent. I'm going to temporarily run this up the pipe. Grab my merger and get you guys to line up like that. Now I can get rid of that one and put them in. Okay, so there's our fused frames. We're ready to jump across the causeway here. I need to bring something over from here. Like I say, I do have this here bridge, and it is running in that direction. Okay. Let's go into our little sky bridge here. There's one of my radio control units. I do not need you going anywhere else right now. I can't have you going anywhere else right now except across the street. Okay. And there they are. Okay, so they're moving across this way. Once they're across here, how are you working in here? Now, this drone port is completely and utterly non-functional at the moment. There's nothing connected up to it, so I'm not sure why I put it in there. I think it was I think I was going to do the fused frames. Why I have a sky bridge here, no idea. But I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I do. So I'm going to put one of those there. We're going to connect you. Let's put this wall back in. I think I'm going to get my turbo motors up and running. Well, ain't that a kick in the head? All right, so how are we going to deal with the radio control units? Well, we're probably going to run along this back wall here. So we're going to put another sky bridge right through here. So let's grab a floor hole. It's going to go right through there, which means I can probably take that pillar out because, you know, we won't see anything. We're going to window yet. We're going to half wall yet. From there, let's grab our half wall and go, whoops. And we'll do it again. We're gonna run that across. And that across. Get rid of these two guys. And boom. Alright, so now I have a causeway to get across. Just cause. Nice and clean. I'm gonna go that way. Okay, yep, that's good. That's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. Like I say, this is kind of starting to become one of the easiest turbo motor factories I've ever made. I guess when you've built a bunch of them, you'd hope that eventually things do, in fact, get easier. Alright, so our fused frames. Again, I don't think we're going to be keeping anything permanent over here. I will be splitting these fused frames off. I'm going to send them off into other directions and stuff, but for now, it's going to take a while to get the propulsion units built. I mean, we're making one per minute. I need 250, so that's about 2 hours. Or just over 2 hours of playtime. Or game time, I should say. To get them all built up. So, yeah. That will be gone in no time. I've just done 3. Okay, so let's make sure we're on straight, which we are. And we're just going to come along the wall here. Make sure we're not increasing our elevation. We'll put it mounted there. Can you please select, and we'll come through to here. I dropped down, it seems. Let's fix that. Up the height of the window. Yep, that's correct. And then we can actually just run you all the way over. Okay, so radio control units are now in the causeway. That's good. Okay, so what all has to go into? We have motors. We have... Oh, motors are upstairs. We have the rubber. We have these 3. So let's get to the service floor. So we're going to have these 3 guys here. We're going to have everyone do one of these. Like that. Okay, let's figure out how we're going to do these guys and get them all nice and connected. And I don't think there's much help for it, but H 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Actually, no. I'm gonna come from this side because the motors are on that side, and I'm only gonna go 1, 2. Let's see what this works. Let's see if we can actually get things to connect. Oh, look at that. Now, only problem I see is that bunk. Yeah, I'm bouncing my head off of it. It's nice and tight and compact, but unnecessarily so. I don't think I need it that compact, so we'll go up by 4. I'm going to do that count again because I completely lost count halfway through. 1, 2, 3, 4. I know, I was only counting to 4, but I stopped counting. I just, let's go! 4. Just about did it again. Okay, you guys are lined up. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you, finally. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, this is what I don't like. It's just getting super excessively tall here. There's just no real. Yeah. It almost looks so bloody ugly. Okay, motors are over everything, right? Motors are there. Okay, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. I know that seems weird, but the moving and the grooving, the counting was all the flipping, flopping, and the yeah. Okay, keep flying, dude. And let's get these guys connected here. Let's get you guys connected. Now, this is not actually connect. Oh, wait a minute. What am I doing? Yeah, rubber radio control units. I don't need what? I need the radio control units over here. Oh, yeah, fuse frames don't get connected into this. That's fine. Okay, no, we're good. Because we do still need one more manufacturer at this, which is going to be for the thermal propulsion units, which is going to go right over there, but I got some other stuff. I'm not gonna, so we just, yeah, we're gonna have our thermal propulsion units, so this wall is in the wrong place, because we're gonna need to do the actual thermal propulsion unit, which will be, oh, let's just put you there. Oh, there's, yeah. No, we are definitely not getting these guys today. Okay, I'm gonna ignore those for now. I just want to finish getting this connected. For the motors, we're going to come up through the floor here. Like that. And like that. We're going to grab some belts. Stackable conveyor poles. For those, and we can stretch some belts now. kind of weird nightmare thing are you doing here? One of these things is not like the other. One of these things isn't quite the same. 'Cause one of these things is not like the other. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who's the problem child? You're the problem child. But for some reason, I can still walk underneath. I went 3, 5. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh my god, I feel like I'm stuck in purgatory, man. We're never getting out of here. Okay, instead of going up 4, go up 3. Not even hurting. I'm so busy doing this. 1, 2, 3. Then, on this one, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yay! That much will work. Then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And these belts should now all nicely connect. Do they nicely connect? Yeah, they do. Alright, that'll work. I can work with that. And that just knocks down there. I can still walk underneath. I keep forgetting that we have the third odd number count as well. Oop, that is not going where I want it to go. Not sure why you even gave me the tink. Okay, oops. Went to the wrong opening. It's easy enough to fix. And we bridge across, and that's got those guys. Okay. Okay. Effed up again. Okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm screwing things up. I'm going to have to undo things. I'm just going to stop here. You get an idea of what I'm going to do here. But, yeah, I'm rushing to try to get done, and I'm making stupid mistakes. I literally have to take all of this stuff out again. But I'm going to do that on that time. I'll do that off camera. But we know it. We made progress. We almost got our turbo motors. If I wasn't so much screwing up and stuff, we would actually have turbo motors production. We are literally one manufacturer away from getting our thermal propulsion units up and running. Once I get the turbo motors unlocked, get some of those stuff producing, I want to get them get a bit of a buffer zone before I start dumping them into the propulsion units. I do have extras, so no problem, because I need those to unlock. As you can see, my particle enrichment, which is the last of this tier worth of stuff, which means I can now turn my attention to full nuclear. Because I want to get a nuclear power plant up and running. And we are then just one step away from having phase 4 completed, which is our nuclear pasta. But I think I haven't even looked at the nuclear pasta yet, to be honest. I think I'm going to, go nuclear. Then we'll get that in there. But you know what? Yeah, a reasonable amount of decent work today. Got a good factory again going in here. I really am enjoying. Let's actually switch up to our jetpack. Jetpack. There we go. Because I'm going to run across to here. Oh, there's stuff up here. Oops. Really should reload before I start shooting. Why did you not blow up? Oh, Jesus. Hello. Come at me, bro. See you, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm completely off in my own little world right now, aren't I? I got squirreled. I got curious. What's under here? What is it? What's the mystery? What is it? Would you blow up? What are you covering? Nothing. There is literally nothing underneath. Really? Okay. Never mind. Okay, so yes, let's have a nice little vantage point here. We can go into, oh my god, it's getting in, so I can't even look at the whole thing at once. I was hoping there'd be something there. There we go. Let's go to photo mode, not the tab button. We're gonna go to photo mode. We're gonna hit B, get rid of the HUD. So yeah, it's coming along. I'm actually really happy with the direction it's going. We're gonna get this next building done up. I like kind of how the glass is in the corner there, so I might mimic it a little bit with some of the similar windows, which are the steel windows, not the concrete windows that I'm currently using, at least in the corners, because I kind of like that idea. Then, yeah, so I'll get the walls. I'm going to get the turbo motors up and running for next week. The thermal propulsion units, I might just get up and running next week. I'll let you, we'll find that out, because, you know, it's just the one machine. Well, maybe we'll start next week with it. We'll see how that goes. Thank you, Bottom. I really appreciate that, man. Which brings me, nice segue to thanking every one of you guys for watching. Bottom, thank you for hanging out with me in the morning here. It really makes it feel a little better when I'm not talking to myself. So it's always nice to have someone else on the stream there. That's awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, you know, it makes me happy when people reach out and converse. So thank you very much for that gift this morning, man. That really helps and makes it work. So I am running a second series. We were running Space Engineers. We're taking a break from Space Engineers. We're running now Left 4 Dead 2. When I say we, I'm talking about me and Jay. Those, however, I have moved their release dates to Wednesday. I kind of started thinking... I stream every Saturday. I'm thinking about starting a second stream, but we'll see. But it's always Saturdays at 9 a.m., so once a week. You know, we're just growing the channel now, so we'll kind of see how the schedule goes. My October through December is going to be a bit busy, so it might be difficult to start up a second stream, but yeah, I've convinced more people to play Space Engineers, because that's apparently what I do, is I do videos and streams. The same guys I convinced to play Satisfactory by my videos. The friends of mine, of course, they start watching because they're, you know, hey, let's support our buddy. And then they start realizing they can enjoy the game. So they've now recently switched over to Space Engineers. I'm going to maybe think about doing something with that for that. But for now, we have the single stream on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Pacific, so PST. And then starting last Wednesday, I now have my Left 4 Dead series with Jay that releases on Wednesday mornings. We're going to try that out, see how that works. So there's a little bit of a spread throughout the week. So I'm not having like a stream and a video on the same day. I want to spread them out a bit. But like I say, I'm starting to think of maybe doing another stream and maybe exploring Twitch. I've got, you know, channel membership that I need to do more investigating. I just don't feel like I've got something special for members. So if I'm going to ask for you guys' membership, I want to make sure that, you know, I earn that consideration, not just say, hey, be a member, and then you don't really get anything out of it. So I want to make sure I earn that. So, you know, I am making plans, kind of thinking to the future of how to expand and which way to expand. I'm very new to this, so I'm still kind of learning very much. So a big thank you to all the other content creators out there for setting great examples. But in the meantime, that is going to be it for this week. We went a little bit longer than normally. Usually doing it 3 hours. We actually got 3.5 hours in today. Bottom, I want to thank you. Shout out to you for being with me for the last half of the stream. And I want to thank everyone else who watches my videos and has subscribed to my channel. I really do appreciate it. You know, this is where I think I want to try and see if I can develop and get more content going. We'll see what happens. I mean, you know, what a job. Play video games. Do some editing. Gosh, I'm so heartbroken I get to do the things I love to do. So this is, you know, and you guys are going to make it possible, so I really appreciate that. But until then, hey, everyone, thank you for joining me. I want you to be safe out there. I want you to be good. I want you to have a great day. So, from me, bye-bye.